The rain-slicked streets of Seattle blurred past the windshield like smeared regrets as Noah floored the accelerator, his heart slamming against his ribs like it wanted out. He could still taste the stale coffee on Tyler's breath, feel the desperate grip of those fingers twisting into his shirt collar, pulling him back into the apartment hallway where everything had gone wrong. "Noah, wait, just one more chance?" Tyler had whispered, voice cracking like thunder in the narrow space. But Noah had shoved him away, the door slamming shut behind him with a finality that echoed louder than any scream. By the time he pulled into the gravel drive of the old Craftsman house on the outskirts of Maple Creek, the storm inside him hadn't let up. The porch light flickered on, casting long shadows across the lawn, and there stood Wyatt, tall, silent Wyatt, his brother, arms crossed over that faded flannel shirt, eyes dark and unreadable in the yellow glow. Noah killed the engine, rain pattering on the roof like impatient fingers, and stepped out, boots crunching wet leaves. Wyatt didn't say a word, just closed the distance in 3 strides, cupped Noah's face with calloused hands that smelled of pine and engine oil, and kissed him, deep, urgent, shattering the fragile walls Noah had built around his secrets like glass under a boot heel. Noah staggered back against the truck door, breath ragged, the world tilting on its axis. Wyatt's lips were warm, tasting faintly of mint and something forbidden, and for a split second, Noah leaned into it, a traitorous spark igniting in his chest. But then reality crashed in, the brother he'd idolized since they were kids wrestling in the backyard, the one who'd always been the straight-arrow golden boy, fixing cars and dating cheerleaders while Noah hid his crushes in dog-eared comic books. "What the hell, Wyatt?" Noah gasped, wiping his mouth with the back of his hand, voice breaking on the words. Wyatt's face crumpled, those hazel eyes, usually so steady, like the evergreens lining the sound, flickering with a pain Noah had never seen. "I couldn't watch you drive away again," he murmured, voice low and gravelly, the rain soaking through his hair and plastering it to his forehead. "Not like last time. Not without this." He reached out, but Noah flinched, the air between them thick with unspoken accusations, the kind that had simmered for years under the roof of their childhood home. Inside, the house smelled of Mom's lavender candles and the faint must of Dad's old leather recliner, a ghost of stability in the chaos of Noah's unraveling life. He shrugged off his jacket, water pooling at his feet on the worn oak floors, and headed straight for the kitchen, needing the familiar hum of the fridge to drown out the roar in his ears. Wyatt followed, silent as ever, but Noah could feel his presence like a shadow, looming, inescapable. The clock on the wall ticked past midnight, each second a reminder that boundaries were meant to hold, not shatter. Noah poured himself a glass of water, hands trembling enough to slosh it over the rim. "That wasn't. You don't get to do that," he said finally, back turned, staring at the window where rain traced erratic paths down the pane. Seattle's relentless drizzle mirrored the mess inside him, gray, unrelenting, promising no easy answers. He'd fled the city apartment 2 hours ago because Tyler had cornered him again. Clingy Tyler, with his endless texts and surprise dinners, mistaking Noah's politeness for something more. But this was a grenade lobbed straight into the heart of everything. Wyatt leaned against the counter, arms folded, his broad shoulders tense under the damp shirt. At 26, he was the picture of quiet strength. 6'2", built from years of hauling lumber at the mill outside town, his skin tanned from summer hikes along the Puget Sound trails. Noah had always envied that ease Wyatt wore, the way he navigated life without the constant second-guessing that clawed at Noah's gut. "I know," Wyatt said softly, his voice cutting through the patter of rain like a knife through fog. "But I've been carrying this for too long, Noah, watching you pull away from everyone. Tyler, Mom, me. It kills me." Noah spun around, glass clinking hard on the counter. "Carrying what? You're the one who's always had it together. Girlfriends lining up, Dad's pride and joy. Don't pin your midlife crisis on me." The words tasted bitter, laced with the resentment he'd buried deep. the kind that festered in late-night scrolls through anonymous forums, confessing sins he couldn't voice aloud. Wyatt's jaw tightened, a muscle ticking there like a countdown. He stepped closer, close enough that Noah could see the faint scar above his brother's eyebrow from that bike crash when they were 12. Wyatt shielding him from the fall. "You think I don't see you? The way you flinch when someone gets too close. The late nights staring at your phone like it's a lifeline to somewhere else. I see it because, God, Noah, because it's the same damn thing eating me alive." The confession hung there, heavy as the storm clouds rolling in from the Olympics. Noah's pulse thundered, a mix of fury and something dangerously like hope twisting in his chest. He wanted to bolt again, to grab his keys and vanish into the night like he had from Tyler's apartment, but Wyatt's gaze pinned him in place. Raw, pleading, stripping away the years of careful distance. Upstairs, the floorboards creaked under Mom and Dad's footsteps, a reminder that this house held more than just memories. It held expectations. Noah had come home to lick his wounds, to breathe in the salt-tinged air of Maple Creek and pretend he could outrun his mistakes. But now, with Wyatt's kiss burning on his lips like a brand, escape felt like a lie he'd told himself too many times. They didn't speak again that night. Noah retreated to his old room, the one with the slanted ceiling and posters of indie bands peeling at the edges, curling under the quilts that still smelled of childhood summers. Sleep came in fits, haunted by flashes. Tyler's hurt eyes in the hallway light, Wyatt's hands gentle yet insistent on his face, the rain whispering secrets through the cracked window. Dawn broke gray and sodden, filtering through the blinds in watery stripes, and Noah lay there, staring at the ceiling fan's lazy spin, wondering if he'd imagined it all. Downstairs, the clatter of breakfast pulled him under. Pancakes sizzling, coffee brewing, the normalcy of Ellis family mornings. Mom, with her silver-streaked bob and laugh lines etched deep from years of nursing shifts at the local clinic, hummed an old Fleetwood Mac tune as she flipped batter. Dad, grizzled and broad like an old oak, nursed his mug at the table, newspaper spread wide, oblivious to the fault lines cracking through his sons. Wyatt was already there, showered and composed, hair combed back, a fresh flannel hugging his frame. He met Noah's eyes over the rim of his coffee cup, a silent question lingering in the steam. Noah slid into his seat, forcing a smile that felt like glass shards in his throat. "Morning," he muttered, spearing a pancake with unnecessary force. "Morning, kiddo," Dad rumbled, not looking up. "Heard you roll in late. Everything all right in the big city?" Noah swallowed hard, the sweetness of syrup turning cloying. "Yeah, just roommate drama. Nothing I can't handle." The lie slid out easy, practiced, but Wyatt's fork paused midair, his gaze sharpening like he could taste the deception. Mom set a plate in front of him, her hand lingering on his shoulder, a touch that grounded him, even as it ached. "You're always welcome here, Noah. This place hasn't changed. Neither have we." Her words were kind, but they landed like weights, reminding him of the boy he'd been. The one who climbed trees with Wyatt, shared secrets under the covers with flashlights, before the world drew lines he couldn't cross. Breakfast dragged, conversation orbiting safe topics, the mill's latest layoff rumors, the high school's homecoming game, Aunt Clara's new puppy in Ridge Valley. But beneath it all, Noah felt Wyatt's foot brushes under the table. Accidental, maybe, or not, and the contact sent a jolt up his spine, electric and wrong and impossible to ignore. After, as Dad headed out to tinker in the garage and Mom cleared plates, Wyatt cornered him by the sink. "We need to talk," he said, voice low, hand gripping Noah's arm just above the elbow. The touch was firm, not demanding, but it stirred the embers from last night into something hotter, more insistent. Noah pulled away, drying his hands on a dish towel like it could wipe away the confusion. "Talk? About what, Wyatt? The fact that you just upended everything?" His voice cracked, quieter than he intended, the kitchen suddenly too small for the both of them. Wyatt ran a hand through his hair, exhaling slow. I've dated women. Hell, I thought I loved some of them. But it's always been you, Noah, in the background, pulling at me like gravity. I tried to ignore it, bury it under work, under normal. But seeing you with Tyler, hearing you cry through the walls when he pushed too hard, I snapped. The admission hit like a wave crashing on Alki Beach. Fierce, overwhelming, dragging Noah under. He searched Wyatt's face for the lie, the punchline to some cruel joke, but all he saw was truth. The quiet brother who'd fixed his bike tires and defended him from bullies, now standing vulnerable, stripped bare. "You're straight," Noah whispered, the word a shield, crumbling in his grasp. "You always have been." Wyatt's laugh was bitter, short. "That's what I told myself. What everyone expects. But labels are just chains, little brother. And I'm tired of wearing them." Noah's chest tightened, a sob threatening to escape. He wanted to believe it, to let the warmth of that kiss bloom into something real, but fear coiled tight. The family's judgment, the town's whispers in Maple Creek, the exile from the life he'd clawed for in Seattle. "What now?" he asked, voice barely audible over the faucet's drip. Wyatt stepped closer, thumb brushing Noah's cheek, wiping away a tear Noah hadn't realized had fallen. "We figure it out. Together. If you'll let me." The morning light slanted through the window, gilding Wyatt's features in gold, and for the first time, Noah saw not the brother of his youth, but a man, flawed, yearning, offering a hand across the chasm. He nodded, tentative, the first thread of possibility weaving through the wreckage. But possibility came with shadows. As they stepped out onto the porch, the rain easing to mist, Noah's phone buzzed in his pocket. "Tyler. Again. Miss you already. Come back?" The message was a tether to the life he'd fled. But now, with Wyatt's arm brushing his, it felt like an anchor dragging him down. Days blurred into a tentative rhythm. The house in Maple Creek a fragile bubble, where secrets simmered but didn't boil over. Noah threw himself into old haunts. Long walks along the misty trails of Discovery Park, the crunch of needles underfoot a balm for his frayed nerves. Wyatt joined him sometimes, their conversations skirting the edges. Work gripes, childhood stories laced with nostalgia, but always circling back to that kiss, unspoken yet electric between them. One evening, as the sun dipped low over the sound, painting the water in bruised purples, they sat on the dock behind the house, feet dangling over the lapping waves. Wyatt skipped a stone across the surface, ripples spreading like the uncertainty in Noah's gut. "Remember when Dad taught us to fish here?" Wyatt said, voice soft against the gull cries. "You hated the worms. Said they looked too much like squirmy feelings." Noah chuckled, the sound rusty. "Still do. Everything's squirmy lately." He glanced at Wyatt, the profile sharp against the twilight. High cheekbones inherited from Mom's Irish side, the faint freckles across his nose from summers past. At 24, Noah felt like the kid brother still, chasing Wyatt's shadow. But now the chase had twisted into something intimate, terrifying. Wyatt turned, eyes locking on his. "About Tyler. You never said what happened. For real." Noah's throat closed. He picked at a splinter on the dock, the wood rough under his fingers. "He's intense. Thinks if he loves hard enough it'll stick. But I wasn't there. Not like that." The half-truth burned. Tyler had been a distraction. A safe harbor in Seattle's glittering chaos, but never home. Wyatt nodded, slow, his hand finding Noah's knee. A casual touch that ignited sparks. "You deserve better than being someone's fix. Someone who sees you, all of you." His fingers lingered, tracing idle patterns, and Noah's breath hitched, the air thick with salt and possibility. They leaned in then, tentative, lips meeting soft in the dying light. It wasn't the frantic desperation of that rainy night. This was deliberate, an exploration of edges long denied. Wyatt's hand cupped the back of Noah's neck, thumb stroking the sensitive skin there, and Noah melted into it, tasting freedom on his brother's tongue. But as stars pricked the sky, guilt slithered in. What were they doing? In a town where Sunday sermons still preached fire and brimstone, where Dad's fishing buddies swapped jokes about those city types, this could unravel everything. Noah pulled back, heart pounding. Wyatt, what if this breaks us? The family, the town. Wyatt's grip tightened, grounding. Then we rebuild. I'm not hiding anymore, Noah. Not from you. The words echoed through the nights that followed, fueling stolen moments. A brush of hands in the kitchen, Wyatt's body heat against Noah's in the hallway shadows. Mom noticed the shift, her eyes lingering with quiet questions. But she said nothing, her hugs lingering a beat longer, as if sensing the storm brewing. Then came the call from Seattle. Tyler, voice slurred with hurt and bourbon. Noah, I get it. You're confused. But come back. We can talk. I love you. The plea clawed at old wounds, and Noah hung up, chest heaving, only to find Wyatt in the doorway, face ashen. You still care about him, Wyatt said, not accusation, but fact, slicing deep. It's not that, Noah protested, but the doubt seeded, festering as Wyatt withdrew, the easy warmth cooling to polite distance. The fracture widened at family dinner a week later, Aunt Clara visiting from Ridge Valley with her usual barrage of questions. So, Noah, any special someone in that big city? Tyler still treating you right? Her wink was playful, oblivious. Noah forced a laugh, fork scraping plate. We're on a break. Wyatt's foot stilled under the table, the absence of void. Dad cleared his throat, ever the peacemaker. Plenty of time for that. Focus on the job, son. Stability's what counts. The word landed like a judgment, and Noah's eyes met Wyatt's across the table. Mirrored pain, unspoken plea. Later, as Clara regaled Mom with gossip, Wyatt pulled Noah into the garage, the air thick with oil and sawdust. Tell me the truth, Wyatt demanded, voice rough. Is it him you want? Or was that kiss just a moment's weakness? Noah's fists clenched. You think I'd throw everything away for a moment? It's you, Wyatt always has been. But you're pulling back, like I'm the one who needs fixing. Wyatt paced, shadows dancing from the bare bulb. Because I'm scared too, damn it. Dad looks at me like I'm his legacy, the straight son, the one who'll carry on. If he knew. He trailed off, shoulders slumping. The vulnerability cracked something in Noah. He closed the gap, hands framing Wyatt's face, pulling him into a kiss fierce with frustration and need. Wyatt responded with equal fire, bodies pressing close, the workbench digging into Noah's back as hands roamed, exploring, claiming, erasing doubt in waves of heat. They broke apart, gasping, foreheads touching. No more hiding, Noah whispered. Promise me. Wyatt nodded, breath mingling. Promise. But promises were fragile as sea glass, and the tide turned swift. The next morning, Tyler showed up unannounced, tires crunching gravel, eyes red-rimmed behind his glasses. I drove all night, he said, standing on the porch like a lost dog. We need to fix this, Noah. Wyatt hovered in the doorway, jaw set, while Noah's stomach nodded. Tyler, I told you. I know what you told me. Tyler's voice rose, pleading. But I see how you look at me sometimes. Like maybe if we try harder. Mom appeared then, coffee in hand, sensing the tension. Everything okay, boys? Tyler straightened, forcing a smile. Just checking on my roommate. Noah's been dodging me. The word dodging hung accusatory, and Wyatt's hand brushed Noah's back. A subtle claim that Tyler's eyes caught, narrowing. Inside, the confrontation simmered. Tyler paced the living room, words tumbling out. Memories of late-night movies, shared laughs over takeout. The time Noah had patched his knee after a bar stumble. You can't just ghost me because you're scared, Tyler accused, voice breaking. We're good together. Noah's chest ached, guilt twisting like a knife. Tyler wasn't wrong. They'd had moments, easy and uncomplicated, a shield against the deeper chaos. But now, with Wyatt's presence a constant pull, it felt like settling. Wyatt watched from the armchair, silent storm brewing. When Tyler finally stormed out, tires spinning mud, the silence was deafening. "You should have told him sooner," Wyatt said finally, tone edged with hurt. Noah whirled. "And what? Rip his heart out over the phone? He's my friend, Wyatt." "Friend?" Wyatt echoed, standing. "Is that all I am too? Some experiment when the straight guy's not around?" The accusation stung, igniting the powder keg. "Don't twist this. You're the one who kissed me first. Shattered everything. Now you get jealous." Wyatt's face darkened, fists clenching. "Jealous? Try terrified. Because if you go back to him, it's proof this was a mistake. A detour from your real life." Words flew then, sharp as shards. Noah accusing Wyatt of using him to rebel, Wyatt hurling Noah's indecision like a weapon. The garage echoed with it later, tools rattling as Wyatt slammed a wrench down, storming into the rain. Noah collapsed against the wall, tears hot on his cheeks. The house, once sanctuary, felt like a cage, walls closing in with the weight of secrets too heavy to bear. Days passed in icy standoff, meals silent, glances averted. Mom tried bridging, her gentle probes met with deflections. Dad grumbled about brotherly spats, clueless to the abyss. Then, the breaking point. A letter from Seattle, Tyler's handwriting shaky on the envelope. "I'm sorry. I get it now. Be happy." Enclosed, a photo, them laughing at a Mariners game, carefree. Noah's resolve cracked, driving him to the mill at dusk, where Wyatt worked late shifts. The lot was empty, floodlights harsh on the chain link. Inside, Wyatt hunched over a lathe, sparks flying like angry stars. "Go away, Noah," he muttered, not looking up. "I can't." Noah stepped closer, voice raw. "That kiss wasn't a mistake. You're not a detour. You're home." Wyatt killed the machine, silence roaring. He turned, face streaked with grease and exhaustion, eyes searching. "Then prove it. No more running." Noah did, crossing the space, hands trembling as he unbuttoned Wyatt's shirt, fabric whispering to the concrete floor. Their kiss was desperate, bodies colliding with the force of pent-up longing. Wyatt lifting him onto the workbench, tools scattering, breaths mingling in gasps. Skin on skin, it was revelation. Wyatt's calluses mapping Noah's ribs, Noah's nails digging into broad shoulders, the world narrowing to heat and heartbeat. After tangled in the dim, Wyatt held him close. "I love you," he whispered, the words a vow against the dark. "Not as brothers, as this." Noah's heart swelled, tears pricking. "Love you too, always." But dawn brought reality's bite. Whispers started in Maple Creek, Tyler's heartbroken ramblings at the diner, eyes on the Ellis house. Dad confronted them over coffee, face thunderous. "What's this I hear about you two fighting over that city boy? And Wyatt, you look like hell." Spill. The truth hovered, but Wyatt deflected, voice steady. "Just protecting family, Dad. Noah's going through it." Dad's eyes narrowed, but he let it drop, clapping shoulders with gruff affection. Mom, though, pulled Noah aside later, her gaze knowing. "Whatever's happening, honey, it's okay to be scared. Love's the bravest thing we do." Her words lingered as Noah and Wyatt stole away to the sound, boat rocking gentle on the waves. Under starlight, they talked, really talked, of futures untethered. Seattle apartments with views of the Space Needle, hands intertwined in public parks, a life claimed without apology. Yet betrayal lurked, sharp-toothed. Weeks later, at a town barbecue in Haven Point, old flames resurfaced. Sarah, Wyatt's ex from high school, blonde, vivacious, now engaged but tipsy, cornered him by the grill. "Missed you, Wyatt Ellis," she purred, hand on his arm. "We were good once. Still could be." Wyatt stiffened, glancing at Noah across the lawn, laughter forced with cousins. The sight twisted like barbed wire, Sarah's touch a reminder of the mask Wyatt had worn. Noah watched, jealousy souring the potato salad, until he couldn't. He slipped away to the woods edging the field, heart hammering, when Wyatt found him breathless. "It's nothing," Wyatt insisted, but Noah's doubt flared. "Nothing?" She had her hands all over you, like old times. Wyatt grabbed his shoulders. "Old times are dead, Noah. You're my now, my everything." The kiss that followed was possessive, grounding, but seeds of insecurity took root. Back in Seattle, Noah's job at the graphic design firm ramped up. Deadlines blurring days, Tyler's ghost in shared coffee runs with colleagues. One night, exhausted, Noah texted Wyatt, "Miss you. This city's too loud without you." Wyatt's reply, "Coming up tomorrow. Pack your bags, we're getting out for the weekend." The promise eased the knot, but fracture lines deepened. During Wyatt's visit, they wandered Pike Place, market bustle of vibrant chaos. Hand in hand, tentative, until a cluster of tourists snapped photos, whispers trailing, "Look at them bold, huh?" Wyatt tensed, dropping Noah's hand. "Sorry," he muttered later, in the hotel room overlooking Elliott Bay. "Habit." The apology stung a crack in their armor. "Habit," Noah echoed, voice hollow. "Or regret." "No." Wyatt pulled him close, love-making a fervent apology. Slow, worshipful, bodies sinking like tides. But words unspoken lingered, poisoning the afterglow. The real storm hit back in Maple Creek. Dad, rummaging in the attic for holiday boxes, unearthed an old journal, Wyatt's, from college years. Pages spilled confessions. Confusion over feelings for Noah. Guilt over dates with women. Pleas to a God who seemed silent. Dad confronted Wyatt in the garage. Journal thrust forward like evidence. "What the hell is this, son? You, with your brother?" Wyatt's face drained of color. "Dad, it's not. Don't lie to me." Dad's voice boomed, fists clenched. "I've given you everything. This destroys us." Mom overheard, rushing in, tears streaming. "Oh, Wyatt, Noah." Her heartbreak was a blade, twisting deeper. Noah burst in then, summoned by shouts, the scene a tableau of ruin. Dad pacing, Mom sobbing, Wyatt shattered against the toolbox. "You knew," Dad roared at Noah. "My own sons." "It's love, Dad," Noah said, voice steady despite the quake inside. "Not the kind you understand, but real." Dad recoiled, storming out into the night. Mom collapsed into a chair, whispering, "How long?" Wyatt knelt beside her. "Forever, Mom." But we were scared. The hours stretched, confessions pouring. The kiss in the rain, stolen nights, the depth of their bond. Mom listened, face crumpling through stages. Shock, grief, dawning compassion. "I just want you happy," she said finally, hugging them both, fierce and trembling. "Even if it breaks my heart a little." Dad didn't return till dawn, eyes bloodshot, sitting heavy at the kitchen table. "I called Pastor Hale," he admitted, voice gruff. "He said, pray on it." "But son," he looked at Wyatt, then Noah. "This town's small. People talk." "You sure?" Wyatt nodded, hand finding Noah's under the table. "Surer than anything." Dad sighed, long and weary. "Then you're men now, your choices. But this house, it's always open, no matter what." The absolution was tentative, a bridge rebuilt plank by plank. But betrayal's echo lingered, not from family, but within. Tyler, hearing through grapevine, emailed Noah. "Knew you had a thing for bad boys. Careful, he'll break you like he did me." The words, laced with venom from rejection's sting, wormed doubt. Noah confronted Wyatt on the dock, waves lapping accusatory. "Did you? With Sarah? Others? Did you use them to forget me?" Wyatt's silence was damning. "I tried," he admitted, voice raw. "Thought it would work, but it never did. You're in my bones, Noah. The truth burned, a betrayal not of action, but denial. Fists flew then, verbal lashing, Noah's hurt spilling. You let me think I was alone in this hell. Wyatt took it, eyes glistening. Punish me if you need, but don't leave. Noah didn't. Instead, he forgave. The act of catharsis. Bodies entwining on the weathered boards, rain mingling with sweat, cries swallowed by thunder. In vulnerability they mended, Wyatt vowing transparency, Noah releasing ghosts. Months wove forward, seasons shifting like chapters. Spring bloomed in Maple Creek, cherry blossoms dusting the streets, as Noah and Wyatt navigated the new normal. Public affection was subtle, fingers laced in the truck cab, shared glances at town events, but rooted deep. The high point crested at Pride in Seattle, rainbows unfurling against gray skies. They marched, hands open. Wyatt's flannel traded for a tea proclaiming love wins. Cheers washed over them, a baptism, and in the throng Wyatt dropped to one knee. Not proposal but promise. A silver band, etched with coordinates of their dock. Not hiding anymore, he said, slipping it on Noah's finger amid whoops and confetti. Tears blurred the floats, Noah pulling him up for a kiss unapologetic, world shattering anew, but into light. Yet climax demanded descent. Back home, Dad's health faltered. A heart scare at the mill, landing him in the clinic where Mom worked doubles. Whispers in Haven Point twisted. Ellis boys, unnatural, brought this curse. Guilt gnawed Wyatt pacing nights. If we'd stayed quiet. No, Noah countered, holding him through fevered doubts. This is life. Messy, but ours. Vigil at Dad's bedside forged steel. His gruff hands squeezing theirs. Proud of you boys. Fight for it. He rallied, slower but wiser. Family dinners laced with tentative jokes. Betrayal's final shadow fell from within Wyatt's old journal, leaked by a nosy cousin to the local paper's gossip column. Headlines screamed, Maple Creek's secret, brothers in sin? The town erupted, boycotts at the mill, glares at the grocery, Mom's shifts shadowed by stares. Wyatt wanted flight, Seattle, now. But Noah stood firm. Running's what broke us before. We face it. Together they did. A town hall, voices steady. Wyatt spoke first, raw eloquence. Love isn't a scandal. It's survival. Judge if you must, we choose us. Noah followed, heart bare. I dodged shadows for years. No more. This is who we are, flawed, fierce, free. Not all applauded. Some turned away, bridges burned. But ripples spread, quiet allies emerging. A pastor quoting compassion. Kids waving pride flags from porches. In the quiet after, on their dock as autumn leaves drifted, Wyatt pulled Noah close. You saved me, he murmured, lips brushing temple. We saved each other. Noah's hand traced the band, cool metal warm with memory. The world didn't shatter again, it reformed, kinder in fractures. They built a small cabin outside Ridge Valley, designs sketched over coffee, dreams voiced in dawn light. Mom visited with pies, Dad with tools, acceptance a slow bloom. One evening, fire crackling, Wyatt traced Noah's palm. Think Tyler's okay? Noah smiled, soft. He texted last month. Dating a barista. Happy. Good. Wyatt kissed his knuckles. Because you're my world. Shattered and whole. In that hearth glow, Noah knew. Love's not absence of storm, but dancing through it. Compassion in cracks, freedom in truth, identity unchained.